Hey everyone, it's Admiral Seabass. Welcome to my war room in Indianapolis, Indiana, and welcome back to Operation Fulda Gap, Turn 3.4 U.S. Global Command. So, let's get right into it. So, first things first, escalation, I get my +7. So that'll take me from 19, and look here, I'm passing DEFCON 4. I'm going to go up to 26. So that will put me at DEFCON 4. I get to deploy my expeditionary forces, which you can see here, and I'll come back to that in a second. Tech. All right. Got 5 tech dice, which is nice. And we are going for AMD tech number 2, need an 8 or higher, right here. We're going for Caterpillar Drive, tech number 5, we need an 8 or higher. Tech number 6, long-range missiles, we need a 7 or higher. Tech number 9, that is advanced air superiority fighters, we need an 8 or higher. And finally, with 2 dice, tech 11, advanced sonar. Don't have a randomizer. Hang on just a second. Is that too many dice? That is too many dice. Sorry, we'll take this one out and put those 2 there. Sorry about that. Glad I caught that before I rolled. So the other one will have to wait. Don't have a randomizer like Captain G, which is really cool. But let's see what we get. That is really bad. Well, not really bad. So I got Tech 2. And I got Tech 6, which I only needed a 7 on. But Technology 4, Caterpillar Drive, and Technology 11, Advanced Sonar, I missed both of them. So, we will go to Stage 3 of AMD, and we'll complete long-range missiles, which is good. That lets me do a small additional thing this turn. And I also get my first 2 anti-ship missiles, which I will grab here. Put those there. All right, so that actually changes. I'm going to take these 3. See this just for future reference. I'm going to take these 3 and that chip. So that's 4. And I'm going to put them over here because they're going to be involved in my attacks. All right. Next is purchase, I think. Let me check my sequence of play. Highly recommend you use the sequence of play when you play this game. Oh no, global operations. So the pesky communists placed another insurgency here in Guatemala. So using my advisor for a free dice and buying 2 more, I need a 10 or higher on any one of these to counter the insurgency. So into my randomizer again. There's an 8 and a 4. Let's see, I need a 10 or higher. Oh, it's almost a 10. No. Boo. This is getting really ridiculous. So, the insurgency succeeds. These 2 paramilitary die in the Civil War. PRF gets another land zone with a SAM and 2 light infantry. And I don't think that's going to change what I do. Yeah, that I guess I could use that other cruise missile for other purpose, but I won't do that. You know, we'll stand pat there. Now let me change this. Where's all the Nicaragua stuff? Well, you'll see later. Okay, purchase. I spent 2 on the counterinsurgency failure. These are my expeditionary forces, which I'll place at the end of the turn. For 5, I'm going to move my supercarrier forward from stage 3 to stage 2. I'm going to buy a fighter for 8, and I'm going to buy 2 ASW helicopters for 4. All right, now let's do combat movement. So, I think you can see that. So, from Great Lakes, well, I'm at DEFCON 4, and I can now do airstrikes on communist fronts, and PRF is a communist front. So, I can do any airstrike. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that I have long-range missiles, I think I can be here in A36, but let's just go into Honduras just to make it fun. And then I will fire 1 cruise missile in a facility strike against the El Salvador minor port, and I will fire 1 cruise missile into a facility strike on the Nicaragua minor port. And then from A24, my cruiser will go, and now I can move naval units without restrictions, so cruiser can move. He can go 1, 2, 3 into A36. He will fire a cruise missile into the surgical strike. Into a facility strike on the Nicaragua minor air base. Okay? And then yeah. And then the big package here. Oh, so then I'm doing a surgical strike on the units in Nicaragua. Sorry, I don't know why. I wrote everything down, double checked it, but I think Guatemala going PRF threw me off a little bit here. So anyway, I'm sending a ton of stuff into a surgical strike in Nicaragua itself. And I have a card here, which will be my strike package for Nicaragua. So I have the spy sat there, which I'm going to use. And then the fighter from Gulf states will go 1, 2, 3. The fighter from Southern U.S. will go 1, 2, 3. And the fighter from the supercarrier in A24 will go 1, 2, 3, 4. They will all be running seed for this surgical strike. Put them up there like that. The major airbase in southern U.S. will fire a cruise missile, 1, 2 with long-range missiles, and +1 for its GLCM special ability, and he will join the main strike package. And then the F-117 from southern U.S. will join the main strike package. He'll have enough to get back to southern U.S. The A-10 will join. He will also have enough to get back. And the attack bomber from my supercarrier group will also join. He'll have enough to get back too. And all 3 of my fighters will be landing on the supercarrier, assuming they survive, because they're going to be taking any air defense hits. So let's slide over here, where I have all of the stuff that's in Nicaragua. Okay, let me slide. I need to get the dice tray in here too. So here's all the stuff in Nicaragua, and there are 3 SAMs and a SPAG in Nicaragua. So these fighters running seed are going to try to kill those. They get first strike against them. Okay, so let me get my dice tray. And some dice. All right. So let's do this. All right, so the first thing that happens is my 3 fighters running seed will all shoot. Normally they would be at half their attack rating, which is a 3. But since I'm using the spy sat, they are at their full attack rating, which is a 6. All right, let's see what we get. How about 1 hit? Ouch. Okay. So he's going to take the SPAG, and that is a first strike casualty. So now, my strike package and his air defense, which will be 9 dice at 2, will all shoot simultaneously. So let me go ahead and do my strike package first. Let me go ahead and do my cruise missile at a 5. That's an 11. That's terrific. Okay, I have 2 7s. That's the F-117 and the attack bomber. And I have a 5. So the green dice will be the 7s, and the pink dice will be the 5. Oh, wow. There's 3 hits. Okay. So with those 3 hits, he said he wanted to take the para, the spag, which is dead, and a light infantry. So the 2 paras and the light infantry will die. Okay. Now, Captain G, here we go. You're going to love this, I know. So I'm just going to grab those 3 SAMs, get 3 shots each. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 planes. So that's 9 dice I'm facing. I can barely even stand to watch. Yep. All right, here's the randomizer, Captain G. Let's see what we get. You're looking for 2s. Oh, there's 2 hits. Oh my gosh. All right, this is why I bought a fighter. So I killed 4 units in exchange for 2 fighters. I was really hoping my SAMs would, or my seed would get more than 1 hit. I was really hoping for 2 hits there. So, ouch. All right. Okay. So, I need to leave this over here because we got to resolve these strikes against his facilities. So, let's bring you in here and knock over my own stuff. So, this is bugging me. All right, let me move this stuff back. All right. So, I am doing an attack on... So, move this out of the way. Can't hardly see this. All right. This minor port, there's no defense whatsoever because he has no AMD. So, it's just 1d2, which all we do is roll a 6-sided dice, and if it's a 1, 2, 3, it's 1 damage, and if it's a 4, 5, 6, it's 2 damage. So, this is the minor port in El Salvador. That's 2 damage. All right, 2 damage on that minor port, Captain G. Let's do the minor airbase here in Nicaragua. That's 2 more damage. And then let's do the minor port in Nicaragua, and that is 2 more damage. Okay. Well, that will at least keep him from sending any military aid to Nicaragua or El Salvador. So he could pay it off, but he has to use one of his, for each base he pays off the damage on, he has to use one of his allowable military aid slots, so to speak, for the PRF. So, all right, so let me put the 3 SAMs. I guess that wasn't the end of the world. That was pretty exciting to see that, but he's not going to be able to get anything else in there. At least not till the turn after. And El Salvador doesn't have an airbase, so he can't use that port to get anything in. So wasn't the end of the world, I guess. I did lose 2 fighters though, which stinks. All right, so let's go to non-combat. let's move you back here. Let's clean up from this airstrike first. So the strategic bomber will go back up here to Great Lakes, which is right there. Let me go a little wider here. Yeah, let's do that. I'll take all these off. All those off. The blow-up boxes are absolutely, required because Central America is at scale here, on the main map, but there's no way you could even use task force markers or cards here. So that blow-up box down there was really, really smart ad by HBG. All right, so the F-117 will come back from Nicaragua to southern U.S. The A-10, and actually, you know what? I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to take the A-10 as a casualty instead of one of the fighters. So let's reflect that. So I get another fighter back. Realize that you don't have to take the seed fighters as casualties, and I mistakenly thought that I did. So the 2 fighters will be coming back to here. This fleet, surface fleet, will all be coming down here. Those will be landing on the supercarrier, and I'll reflect that in the status of forces. The attack helicopter, though, would go 1, 2, not go down with the amphibious assault ship down to here. So these fighters are back on the carrier. Okay. So that's that. And then this rocket artillery will slide down here to southern U.S. This ASW helicopter here, and oh, by the way, I forgot. Sorry, I'm doing stuff out of sequence. These 2 ASW helicopters were staying here. They were on the supercarrier. They're sliding over here to go on ASW Air Patrol in A-29 along with this other ASW helicopter. So that now gives me 3 on ASW Air Patrol on A-29. The one that was in A-33 will slide over to A-34 and moving. It's still on ASW Air Patrol, but just sliding over to A-34. And then what else is going to happen? This no, that air speeder fighter will stay there. Yeah, up here. So my boomers can still only move 1 C zone. So this boomer will move from A2 to A15. He will be joined by the 2 nuclear attack subs from A24 to A18 to A15. Then we need to go down to the Indian Ocean. This boomer will slide over here to I-6. Can only move 1. That's its 1. He will be joined by the nuclear attack sub from I-6. They will also be joined by 2 ASW helicopters on ASW Air Patrol from the supercarrier in I-6. All right. Oh, I know what I was going to do. Yeah. So the attack bomber that is on this supercarrier is going to air redeploy to southern U.S. And then this air superiority fighter that was in Gulf states is going to return the favor and air redeploy to supercarrier in I6. Okay. So this is what I6 looks like now. All right. And I think that is it in terms of my movement and everything. So yeah, I think that's all I can do because I can't reinforce my allies yet. So like this guy, because he's on air patrol from this base on the Azores, which is in my ally, he can't move yet. All my stuff, you know, that's in NATO can't move. Oh, I forgot to land my attack bomber from the carrier. So he will also land in, he'll land in Gulf states, actually. I think. Right there. Put my spy satellite back on my dashboard. And I go up another 2, by the way, for PRF, another PRF land zone. All right, so this will go back on there. I've got 4 cruise missiles left. All right, so place units. So move my supercarrier forward, so he will go to there. Fighter, I will build on at the major airbase here in let's see. Yeah, they're in southern U.S. The 2 ASW helicopters will be built on the supercarrier there off of Central America. And then my expeditionary forces, which don't use any placement capacity, put 2 there in southern U.S. and we'll put the Marine also there in southern U.S. Exciting times down there. All right, so that should be it. And then I collect 28, which I will use these amazing chips from Flak 88. That's 28 IPP, cash on hand, advisor back on the board. And one final thing will be swapping out this chip here for a cruise missile sculpt. And that will be Admiral Seabass signing off.